Stampers, this is Marie Bennett with blackberriesandcream.net. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and today I'm going to show you something that you can make to repurpose or, I don't know, upgrade or whatever, these priority mailboxes that you get in the mail. This one was in especially good shape when I got it, and so I thought it would be really good to use for this video. And so when I received the box, I carefully opened up this end rather than opening where it's been sealed here. I pried the end open very carefully, and so then the next thing you want to do after you've taken what you received in the mail out of the box is carefully reseal that end. And you have to kind of fold the flaps in and lay them flat and just ease this tab back into that spot. Okay, now that you've got the tab in smoothly where it goes, the next thing that I like to do is take some of that red sticky tape and tape these end tabs shut, and just leave the plastic part on until later, because we're going to be covering this box with some designer series paper. And when we do that, we'll just peel off this other side of this sticky tape, and it can be serving two purposes. These are nice boxes if they come delivered in good shape. Sometimes they're kind of beat up by the time they get to you, but this, if you get a good one like this, then it's a good idea to just reuse it. Alright, so the dimensions of this box, the outside dimensions, are 8 3/4 inches. So I want the center of the box is going to be 4 3/8 inches. So I need to find the center. If I can line it up right on this out, well, I could put it right in the crosshairs here. 4 3/8. So there's 4 1/4, 4 3/8. Right there. Okay. I'm going to take a marker and make a line here, and then do it again. 4 3/8. 4 3/8 is right here. Alright, so I'm going to go get a, okay, I'll be honest. I'm taking this out to my husband's shop, and I'm going to use one of his saws, and I'm going to just run this box through the saw. But you could use a knife and just cut the box in half. Okay, I'm back, and I have cut my box in half. And so the next thing I want to do is tape the two halves together. So I'm going to use a lot of this sticky tape because I'd like this box to last me for a long time. I don't want it falling apart, so I want it really well stuck together. Stampin' Up! Used to sell the red sticky tape, and they've gone to a terrible tape, like not terrible like awful, but tape that can be torn, like score tape, and that's a very good tape too. Lots of times I prefer the score tape, but I got all this red sticky tape, I might as well use it. Okay, I'll peel those off. Oops, come on you. Alright. I want these to line up really well, because once they get stuck together, it's going to be permanent. Then you'll be starting over with a new box if you make a mistake at this point. And that may take a while, because you may not get a new box for a long time. Okay. So this is stuck. And the next step in our project is going to be to decorate the outside of the box and do some trimming around the edges and make our labels for the inside of the box. So I'll be right back with the decoration. Okay, so there's a little problem solving involved in this project, and first thing I want to do is cover the bottom of the box. And so to do that, I measure the length. It's 5 1/4, and I want the cover to come up maybe 1 inch on each side, so I'm going to add 2 inches. And I'm going to cut a piece of smoky slate cardstock at 7 1/4 inches. Come up here, 7 1/4. All right, and this piece, this was just a scrap, and it's going to, looks like it's going to stick up about 1/4 inch on each side, but I'm going to measure. The box is 3 1/2 inches thick, and my cardstock is 4 1/4. So 3/4, 3/8. It'll stick up 3/8 of an inch on either side. So I'm going to score it on both sides at 3/8 inch. Get my cutting blade out of the way. I'm famous for cutting and not scoring. Okay, so 3/8 of an inch on both sides. That's too big. That's obviously not 3/8 of an inch. Right here. Okay, there's 3/8 of an inch. And then I added 1 inch to each end, so I'm going to score it at 1 inch. The really only reason I'm scoring is just to make the bending easier. Alright, so then I'm going to trim along this score mark right up to that 3/8 inch score. Okay, now I need to use my bone folder and reinforce all these creases. Hopefully it's the right size after all this work. Put it on the box and it won't fit. That won't be good. Should have tried that first. Perfect. Wow, look at that. Actually, it's off just a tiny bit on one end, so I'm going to give it another score. Give it about another 1/8 of an inch. Like I said, this is not an exact science. Yes. Okay. So now I'm going to put sticky tape on the bottom of the box and put this cover on, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I do things the hard way. I stuck the paper to the bottom of the box, and then I went around and put tape all the way around the edge, and I had to put small pieces because I had already cut up to the score line. So here's my recommendation. Put the tape, the sticky tape, all the way around the edge and then cut up to the score line. And then put your paper on the box. That will make things a lot easier. Okay, so everything's all taped up. Next thing I'm going to do is peel off that tape and fold the sides up and stick it to the box. Okay, so my bottom's all stuck on, and the way I did it was I folded up the end pieces first and then the side pieces over that. And the reason I use cardstock on the bottom is this box is going to be sitting on my desk and I'll be moving it around, and the cardstock is just a little thicker, a little heavier paper than the DSP or the Designer Series paper, and so I just wanted a little extra strength on the bottom. Okay, to wrap this box I have a piece of 12 by 12 Designer Series paper that's retired. It's from the Neutrals Designer Series stack, and I'm going to use that to wrap this box. Now this is 12 by 12, and I don't know really how deep I'm going to need it, but I know that 6 inches will be deep enough, so I'm going to cut it into 2 6-inch strips. And then I'm going to wrap it from side to side, and you can see 12 inches is not long enough to go around this whole box. So I'm going to go from seam to seam, and I got some tape on my box. Ay, ay, ay. Come off nice and easy, does it? I don't want to ruin my paper. Okay. So I should, as long as I had it stuck on there, I should have measured right. So I'm just going to kind of, this is a by guess and by gosh type of a project. It really is. So right here is where I'm going to cut it, and I'll tell you how long that was in a minute. Okay, it was, oops, sorry, it was 9 1/4 inches. So the other one I want to overlap on both sides, so I'm going to cut it at 10 1/4 inches. There we go. And this is too wide. I do want to overlap. I'm going to say 5/8 of an inch. So if I add, how do you like this on the go stuff? If I add 5/8 to my 4 3/8, then I get 7 8/8, which is 8 inches. All right. So That didn't even make sense. 5/8. 4 3/8 and 5. It's 5 inches. 4 3/8 plus 5/8 is 5 inches. We'll see if 5 inches is going to be just what I wanted, and it looks like it is. Yes. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do is put sticky tape on the outside of this box, just from this seam to this seam, and then I'm going to stick this paper to it. Okay, so just a tip. This little roller has just a tiny bit of sticky strip left. Not enough to really use for anything. But I do use these. So sometime when I have a roll of something that I want to save, I can just peel this plastic off and stick it to the tape, and then use this as my center rolling for whatever I'm trying to save. So don't throw these away. They're very useful. Okay, so I have got sticky tape all over this 1/2 of the box, including I put a single strip all the way around the box and just cut off from seam to seam and left the other side on there. Okay, so now I'm just going to try to work this paper around, keeping it as flat and straight as I can, and trying not to just drop it like that. Line it up at the bottom. Give it a good crease. Okay. Alright, that stuff is stuck. Now I'm going to decorate the other side of the box, doing the exact same thing and overlapping this paper just a bit on both sides. I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm ready to start sticking on this next piece, and I put sticky strip on this piece of DSP so that I could overlap it and it would be really well stuck down. Everything on this box is going to be very well stuck down. I just want it stuck where I want it. Maybe. Alright. Okay, give the edge a nice crease if I can. And then I can turn the box and pull tight, line it up, stick it down at the bottom, and hope for the best. I think I got it. Alright, I still have sticky tape on the end here because I wanted to be able to put my box on the table while I was applying the designer series paper. So I just need to peel this off and stick it down. And I think I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to put some sticky tape over here too, just to make sure that edge gets stuck down. I think I used about 1 strip of sticky tape per inch, running it from top to bottom. Okay, give it a good score at the corner if I can, and then pull it tight even it up at the bottom and stick it down. All right. Success. The basic box is covered. Now the next thing is going to be to cut it and fold it in and stick it on the inside. Okay, so I learned from my errors on the first time, and this time I put a whole strip of sticky tape all around the inside of that DSP. And now I'm going to go and just cut a teeny tiny wedge in each corner. Okay. Now I'm going to fold it over as tight as I can to the edge on both sides. And you can see that there's a divider here that's going to give us a little bit of a problem. So I'm going to do the same thing I just did. Cut a little wedge right there at the divider. And then fold it over. Need a little more wedge right here, I guess. There. Now my basic box is done. This this center area here could be attacked in two ways. You could take another piece of the designer series paper and cover it if you wanted to, or you could use some washi tape or something like that to cover up this edge. I think I'm going to try using the designer series paper first, and then if I don't like the results, I'll try something else. Okay, so I put some sticky tape on both edges of the designer series paper, and I'm just going to kind of line it up in the middle, squeeze, and press, and see what happens. All right. Every once in a while something works out. Okay, so this is a basic box made out of a flat rate postage box, and I'm going to use this for storing size A2 cards. Okay, so you can see that an A2 card will fit in there this direction, but it won't fit this way. That's okay. I'm going to make some like tab divider things, and I'm going to decorate the outside of the box and make it just what I want it to look like. But I hope you can take this idea and use your imagination and find a way to repurpose some of these boxes that otherwise would be going in the trash. Thanks for watching. Bye.